Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Zenny Sign Up. Bad examples. Disclaimer: this program contains adult themes of which are sensitive topics discussed from the outset and throughout. Viewer discretion is advised. Wendy, I'll listen to any of my advice. Surely he couldn't list more than a handful of celebrities which he considers bad. Actually, to name and shame people for their sins is a sin in and of itself. However, criminals in the general consensus must be acknowledged for what they are. Generally, when it comes to judgment, we are incapable to do so with justice unless it be on two occasions. One being that you judge yourself, and secondly that you judge a collective group. Explanation would normally be required for every subject. But considering you defend these people with your life, indeed they are not worthy of the praise given, and are those who have no interest in you, nor would they care for your non-existence. This still took some creative endeavor in order to write. I believe it to be vital in understanding what we are doing wrong in order to move forward. So let's split them up into categories. Whether you are indicted with numerous charges and elected as a president of the supposed greatest nation, or you are named after a shrub plant who loves creating situations of violence. The public eye considers you a worthy and notable person if enough of them have heard of you, especially if it's in a position of mass delusion. In other words, to create a sense of reality which involves a majority of others. Television and media outlets appear as though they are ordered to express your tiny opinion with magnitude. On the contrary, little actions are enlarged beyond what is a joke, and heinous large crimes committed are made into something small and insignificant. Unless the public hates you, right? From an iconic politician who ruined a few generations' prospects with a standout mustache. Nobody could ever dare to style that again. I mean, he must have done something right if a lot of people believed in him, and who are willing to lay their life on the line pursuing his message. And it is real. Ha! That's play on words. That donkey is protecting the stolen land by offensive measures. On the rare occasion, the original settlers might fight back given enough buttons pushed, and when that does come to shove, the thieves play victim. One day to justify years of persecution and unjust slaughter against members of the public beyond criminal. It's a range of cartoons leading the way as pioneers on center stage. Such like Donald Duck, that guy that got shot in the ear and should have ducked using either this knee or that knee. And the dictator of a completely locked down country, one where you cannot even leave. I'm talking about the one who killed his own uncle for sleeping through his speech. Damn, makes you really wonder, how boring was that talk? What do you think about it, teddy bear? Or how about that guy that looted his own home country and currently resides in an expensive ass London flat, being helped by those patriots whom so claim to have morals, yet welcome this scandalous foreigner because his money is large and wide. In America they would class it as supersized. Even if it is stolen cash, they don't mind, so he lives a very, very nice lifestyle. No trustworthy person should have bodyguards. It is cowardly, and if they are a man of the people will defend them. You get me, bro? It's a shame how easily a part of the population are still treated poorly due to the color of their pigmentation. And they were easily swayed by the introduction of a dark leader in a false position of power, whom did not care about their principles nor policies in place or to place. It was just a statement piece, a publicity stunt. Worked like a charm. But what the hell do statements matter if it was not ever acted upon? Fools falling for the facade. If I were to speak about entertainers, I would rather be stuck on an island full of fake people who like to love. As the West Philly Prince once said, don't download, go out and buy the record. Sorry, I downloaded. What a slap in the face. See how I'm speaking about these celebrities? I don't care. They don't give a damn about the message they be portraying. You have no idea the underlying effects it has on the younger generation that consume that crap. Let alone the older diehard ceiling fans. And on top of that, the successful empty everybody else's wallet except for theirs. So why should I give a damn if they are in the spotlight? Flies hover over shit every day, that being the same analogy. When it comes to those on television, you got predators on Great Morning Wood shows. TikTok time is almost up. Shops hosting tax avoiders, counterfeit goods, false arguments. Can't forget to mention the people who beg others for follows, subscriptions, gifts, and their semens for no discernible reason. And these platforms for content control suck. They don't see anything wrong with a big booty chick on screen, all because of a single 2mm vertical line placed in post, which fooled the system. I have even seen people show others how to siphon a gas tank with a tube. Full-blown nudity in a child-focused online environment. Not violating community standards. Regarding musicians, I already name and shame them individually. Mind you, it is slower yet more comprehensive. The series on the channel is called 7 Deadly Sins. And most times you'll miss. Whether they be displaying lust or betrayal, most often lies when regarding singers, greed, violence, and sodomy with most, if not all, rappers. And despite the topic they are representing or calling to, it has nothing to do with the lyricism involved. And it be grammatically incorrect. Even if they were to sound good, you are deluded into thinking it was great. What the even is an influencer. Just pricks propagating shit products or taglines. All in the same boat. Added to destruction. Captain Whippy Iceberg. Like that Wolverine guy that went to a suicide forest. Made a joke for obvious attention and controversy. Got what was asked for. People love to hate by speaking the name till they forget. And it's like the whole thing had not happened. Still a prick by the way in this day and age, however a little more cautious with the words chosen. Or what about his business partner? Pretending like there is this conflict with his little brother so this dynamic show can be rinsed and sold, worked like a charm. Full of shit. They are just doing whatever to sell their foundation morals, which they never had, in the form of an isotonic, low-sugar, non-carbonated, chemically fused energy drink. And to elaborate on those who have bodyguards, there are also pricks who don't trust the public. Why? Because they know that the public doesn't trust them. Another core principle as to why popularity is bad is because they turn harmful things into acceptable profit-making revenue streams. Like a cocaine controversy, which even branded Nicholas. Don't know if breaking and entering into homes is very saint-like. Not to forget the funding toward multiple genocide programs. How many companies glazing dough, not but also to cause misfortune for others? How many Eastern countries have been bombed in the name of peace? Man, shut the up. How about absolute pioneers in the field? A pickle, a gâteau, a smell, a vacancy. All made billions from exploiting systems and organic materials to create something better for mankind, when it was only intended to help themselves. When you big shots get to the dragon's den, make sure to scream as loud as you can. That money will never be accepted. Nor your children, your parents, and best believe they will offer anything and everything in order to save themselves. That was a tangent. Back to the topic. It doesn't mean they weren't clever. They were clever enough to make that product and that sort of cash. As said before, and we'll say again, the affluent do not get wealthy by making moral and good decisions. It is exploitation at the finest. You better bank on that. Simply speaking, people need to stop focusing on bad individuals because it gives others ideas. From Dharma to Epstein, both different types of shit. How about that adult actor with literally sin in the name? These people should get you feeling blue. He's a client to the woman who is worse than 1,000 bad men. Why? Because 1,000 men came collectively in her. Disgusting role models for empowerment, supposedly. And ironically, they all seem to get a free pass to continue. Now, that is just odd. This is the real two-tier justice system, not the ones they try to promote, which would be foreigners getting preferential treatment. It's always been about those on the top of the food chain, not poor coping semantics like immigrants are taking jobs, housing, healthcare. Poor people often need to take before they give back. And the part that people forget is that they do. Whereas the rich just take, and take in the illusion visionary version of giving back. It's a sly technique most do not understand. Take the next example. The A to Z directory of products delivered to you with ease. It is not a rainforest alliance. That guy could not give less of a shit for the public prosperity. Sure, it creates terrible paying jobs for a few thousand of them, but it will most likely be replaced by a better system of robotics. Why? Because on the plus side, they never get tired, have emotion, or so for the matter, and they wouldn't blink twice at the prospect to cut down costs. They don't care. The fact remains, good or bad publicity, doesn't matter. It is only the notoriety that gets them noticed. Nobody is known for the good that they've done, and it is hardly ever known or recalled. Why? Because people don't care. Life is boring. We need drama. It's excitement and exciting. Something too good to be true usually isn't. That is why year after year after year, there's somebody new in the spotlight. Somebody the public entrusts to honor them, their words and actions. And what happens? Then we are back to square one. They only care to see what is on the surface and stay deluded. Every single time. Nothing ever changes. Then comes the end. And there you have it. Thank you very much for listening, and be sure to tune in for another episode of Zenny Sign Up.